So is Britain going to leave the EU with a deal, or will Theresa May be forced to leave Downing Street? To talk about this, joined by Tom Harwood, former leader of the student wing of Vote Leave. Tom, thanks for your time today. How do you see this one playing out? I mean, it's a fool's game making predictions, but what do you think is going to happen here?
Oh, totally. I think that really what we're seeing is a lull over the weekend. What really is crucial is what happens on Monday. If the ERG, the European Research Group, that group of more strident Brexiteers within the Conservative Party, if they can get in their 48 letters on Monday, suddenly everything kicks back into gear. There's much more pressure on the Prime Minister to explain why she's capitulated in such an apparent way to the EU, and there will be much more pressure on the 5 remaining Brexiteers in Cabinet to force some more concessions out of what is an agreement that really doesn't take much from the EU at all and gives a lot from the UK.
What did you make of her words in the Daily Mail today, saying that people just do not understand that any deal you want to try and strike, Norway, Canada plus, whatever it is, has to start from the EU's perspective on this basis of the backstop that she has got?
It's a totally false prospectus. The EU have been kicking around the UK because they do not believe Theresa May wants to leave without a deal. Theresa May doesn't believe that leaving without a deal is in the interests of the UK, and she doesn't believe in her own slogan, no deal is better than a bad deal. So we've ended up with this bad deal, because the people in charge of this process from the very beginning haven't believed in Brexit. We learnt today, a BuzzFeed report revealed that Dominic Raab didn't even draft the draft withdrawal agreement. The Brexit secretary hasn't been negotiating Brexit. It's been in the hands of people who voted Remain. And so, of course, they'll view it as a damage limitation exercise, not as an opportunity. And so really, since the leadership election, since the Brexiteers were defeated in the summer of 2016, this process has been in the hands of people who don't believe in it. And that's why we're in this mess.
To be fair, though, that opinion on no deal has shifted quite a lot, hasn't it? Even Liam Fox in the last 48 hours or so saying that, look, no deal is pretty disastrous.
I think there's no question that no deal would present some challenges to be faced. But there's no way that this country can't overcome those challenges, can't prepare for them, and can't get through it. This country is the 5th largest economy in the world, with the largest trading partner of the EU. I'm just interested in what your confidence
is based on, that there's no way the UK can't deal with it. I mean, what's that based on? The plans that you've seen so far for no-deal contingency planning?
No, it's based on the simple fact that we're the largest trading partner with the EU. The EU don't want us to suddenly stop buying their goods. There will be enormous impetus and goodwill on both sides in order to sort out what will be a pretty hairy situation. But in reality, the reason why this deal is so bad currently is because the EU don't believe in our ability to go through with no deal. If we had a Brexiteer in charge, if Theresa May were to be got rid of, and someone who was in charge who the EU plausibly believed would be OK with no deal, we'd probably end up with a deal, and with a better one at that.
Do you think if those 48 letters are in or go in over the next couple of days and there is a vote of no confidence, do you think she'll survive it?
I think there won't be the 158 Conservative MPs to mathematically dislodge her. But if enough Conservative MPs vote for no confidence in the Prime Minister, there'll be a huge moral impetus for her to stand aside for someone who believes in the policy that she purports to deliver.
But surely, if she has the numbers, that implies that she has the confidence of her party, regardless of the margin or the moral reason. So
in 1990, when Margaret Thatcher faced a vote of no confidence, she actually won that vote by almost 2/3. Only a smidgen over 1/3 of the party voted against her, and yet she stood down because it was clear the tide had turned against her. I think a very similar thing would happen with Theresa May if a sizable number of her backbenchers revealed that they had no confidence in this Prime Minister. I mean, we only need to look back over to the summer of 2016, where Conservative May loyalist after Conservative May loyalist were ruthlessly diving into the Labour Party for minister after minister, declaring no confidence in the Labour Party leader. And I think there'll be a number of clips that we can drudge up of Theresa May saying that Jeremy Corbyn had lost the moral authority to lead his party, and I think the same thing will apply to Theresa May.
Tom, I just want to ask you, I saw a tweet that you put out yesterday which has got plenty of traction. Given what you're saying about, you obviously don't hold as much fear of no deal as some other people do, and you're saying, I genuinely feel so grateful to have friends who are passionate Remainers, passionate Leavers, Thatcherites, Corbynites. Life is so much nicer when you can get along with people you disagree with. That was your tweet yesterday. Do you think if no deal pans out, if the Prime Minister goes, if there's a Labour government, according to Getting On with Corbynites, is this country going to be in a better place in 6 months' time?
I think we can't be in a much worse place than we are now when it comes to political division. But thankfully, if we avoid the calls for an immediate general election or even a second referendum, we'll be able to smooth over these divisions that have been wrought over the last couple of years. We'll be able to come together behind a vision of the country beyond Brexit. Once we just get over that Brexit hurdle, I think there's so much more opportunity to come together and build a more common future once we just get past this quite divisive question. We'll be able to then start talking about the policies that can make a Britain independent of the EU wealthier and freer and better off.
OK, Tom, thanks for your time.